In this video, I'm going to show a few different ways in which you can communicate with students, either individually or to a group of students, whether it be student groups that you've created or all users in the classroom or all students in the classroom, just through Blackboard. So this is just, different tools that you could use to communicate to students via Blackboard. Of course, you have the option of sending them emails separately. So let me start with the first one, which is creating announcements. Announcements are delivered to students in both an email format, so the announcement gets sent as an email to the students' email inbox, as well as appears on the Blackboard page. So on the left, I'm using a sample course from the spring 2020. It's actually a teaching assistant course, so I haven't used this particular course or the Blackboard page that heavily for the TA course. Nevertheless, so on the left you see announcements. So by the way, this announcement tab here doesn't automatically appear. I created the tab and put it in here. So if you want announcements to be here, especially now that we are all going to be possibly going to be teaching a full semester of online course in the fall, announcements is something that I use very often, whether it be online or even pre-COVID-19. I would use announcements a lot, and I'm guessing some of you do the same. So you can obviously, as soon as you land on your homepage, you can find the more announcements button that you can click here. But I put the tab here so that wherever I'm in Blackboard, I'll be able to access this. So for you to do that, you can actually click on this plus sign here and click on tool link and type announcements, and under type, these are all the different tools that are available in Blackboard, right? So you could find the announcements tab, click on that. So similarly, you can create a tab for any of these, so announcements, and make it available to users, and then click on submit. Now I'm gonna hit cancel because I've already created it. So I hit the announcements tab. So like I said, I don't have any announcements here since this was a TA course. I click on create announcement and type in the announcement subject, which kind of goes as the email subject, and then the message of the email. And so remember, this announcement option can be targeted to a specific student or a specific group of students. It just goes to all users of the course on Blackboard. So if you want to make it date restricted, you want to say when the announcement appears, you can do that. You can also select to send a copy of this announcement immediately. In my experience, what I've seen is, and like it says here, the students are still notified anyways, but clicking this, I actually receive a copy of that email too. So sometimes that's useful, but not always. So under course link, if you have a particular place in the course that you want students to divert students' attention to through your announcement, click on browse. Let's say your announcement is about the syllabus has been posted and I'm looking forward to seeing you all on the first day of class. So you want to click on the syllabus and upload the syllabus. So if you hit submit, the announcement gets sent, so the email gets sent, and at the same time an announcement, I'm going to cancel at this point. I don't want my TA to freak out that I'm sending her an announcement of this during the summer. But nevertheless, once you do that, the announcement will appear here, and it just stays there permanently as long as your course exists on Blackboard. Okay, so that's the first way of communicating with students, and this announcement is, like I said, for the whole group and not a specific student. The second one is discussions. So discussions is, of course, a way to communicate to students, but you wouldn't use discussion to inform students of something that's happening or remind them of a test that's coming up. But discussions is more for creating a communication of something like having as part of your course content. Sometimes I just create a discussion board at the beginning of the semester to have students introduce themselves. So if you're teaching a fully online course, which again, if you're doing in fall 2020, that might be a useful option. So discussion board, again, similar to announcements, cannot be catered to a specific student or a few students in class. It just gets created for everybody. So I'm sure you already know how to create discussions. Just create the name of the discussion board, give a brief description if you need to have students read a particular article before getting into the discussion. You can post the article link here or the file directly, and then when the discussion board is open, and then all sorts of other options that you would use to create the discussion, whether it be graded one or you want students to be able to subscribe to a particular thread and so on and so forth, and then hit submit. I'm gonna again hit cancel at this point. So once you hit submit, then the discussion board gets created here. So again, this is not a video to show you how to set up discussions, but just to show that setting up discussions is a way to get in touch with your students or communicate with your students. So again, it's not useful if you want to reach out to a student, but rather if you inform students that I am creating a discussion board and I want you to engage in a discussion there, or ask any questions or post your answers or something like that. Okay, so the third option that I want to show is to send email directly from Blackboard. So of course you can always use your Outlook to type in a student's name and find the student's email and send the student an email. But oftentimes, especially in the beginning of a course, when we are not fully familiar with a lot of our students and we may not know all of them by on a first name basis, it might be just easier to send an email through Blackboard. So there are two different places that you can go to do that. One is hit Tools. Okay. If you hit Tools and you scroll down, you will see an option called Send Email. Click on that. Now here it gives you all sorts of options of whether you want to send email to all users or if you might have created groups. So if that's the case, then you can send email to a specific group or a few groups. If you want to send email to a TA, and of course a TA's role has to be assigned on Blackboard. And if you want to send only to student users, so if you click all users, it'll be sent to everybody. If there's somebody who's monitoring or you're auditing your course, or if there's a student or there's a TA, whoever is associated with the course, the message will be sent to. But if you select only student users or all student users, of course it'll only be sent to students. If you select all instructors, it'll be only sent to instructors, and similarly observers. And the select users option is where you can select individual people or students that you want to send email to. Okay, so for example, let me show you all users. Click on all users, and I can type out the message here, test. And then if I need to attach a particular file that I want to send to that student, maybe like an assignment rubric or something, and then hit submit, the email gets sent. One thing that I haven't seen on Blackboard is a place where you can go and check your sent emails, like how you can do on Outlook. You can just go see all of the emails that you've sent in the past. I haven't seen an option for that here, so if you're looking for that record might not be directly accessible. There might be some other ways to access that data, but it's not available in this panel right here. Similarly, if you can choose to email a particular student, click on, I'm sorry. You can choose to email a particular student, so select user. So now here, of course, it's a TA course, so only my TA's name is reflected here, but let's say you have about 30 students, all of the students' name comes up here. You select the student that you want to email. Okay. If you want to select multiple students, you press the control button and then you select, click on all the users that you want to send email to, and then you hit the move to list of selected items, so that it'll move on this side, which means these are the people that you're emailing. The names that still remain here are the ones that are not included in this email. Only the ones that are here are included in this email. Okay, so again, test. And again, if you want to attach a file and send the email. So this is a way to send email to select users. You can also access this send email tool by going to just two different places to do the same thing. If you go to course tools, and if you scroll down, you'll see send email. You click on that, it takes you back to the same page. Okay, so that's how to send email to a student on Blackboard. And the last option that I want to show, which I really rarely use, but it is an option. If you go down and look at users and groups, if you click on users, for example, all of this, the course users will be reflected here. So it'll include students, instructors, TAs, anybody, people in all different roles. So of course here, like I said, it's a TA course, so only my name and my student TA name is reflected here. So I can't use this to directly send an email via Blackboard. You still have to go to tools and click on send email. However, at least this is a good place for me to see the student's email address. So, and if I click on this, and if I have my Outlook open, if I click on that email, it automatically composes an email or creates a new message box on Outlook for me, and I can type my email here and send it out. Okay, I don't want to save this at this point. All right. So that's just 4 different ways that you can use Blackboard to communicate with your students, whether it be send a mass email or send a message to a specific group or create a discussion board for students to communicate amongst each other and with you.